Okay guys, so we're back again. As you saw in the short from yesterday, we got the Fargo on the hoist. I had to do a little modifying on the dolly I had, so it'll sit on there, much easier to work on. I did find one thing out. Shoebox Fords are not real popular. I got some really low counts on people wanting to check out those videos, so we'll be doing much better, I think, on the Sweptline. Seems to have a lot better following. So anyhow, I'll show you kind of what we got for damage and stuff here, and what I'm going to be working with. So anyhow, this is driver's side. As you can see, the rocker panel is almost non-existent. Inner and outer are both gone. The floors are in actually really good condition. Both steps are rusted out. They've been siliconed, covering up the rust holes in them. So the upper portion here is still solid, good metal. I'm going to end up making the lower portion as well as the complete lower rocker. Cab corners are in really good condition for some strange reason. I already started on the cab mount structure. I built one of these. I have the other one to go. Just grab the light here, go over to the other side. Here you can see the inner rocker all the way back is rusted pretty bad. So I'm going to build the new inner rocker. It's got a 90-degree bend up here and comes straight down. It's got some pretty wicked contours at the back and as well at the front here, but I should be able to make this in a couple of pieces, and then it'll just weld to the cab structure right here. So I still have to build this front section for this one. I'm going to build some jigs. I started out on my with some cardboard templates for the rockers. The rocker I'm going to have to do in two parts. I'm going to do this straight up down piece, comes up. I'll put this 90 in it, and then I'm hoping I can do the weld in here. This piece will come over and 90 down, and we'll weld it somewhere in here where I can finish the weld off really nice. So anyhow, that's where we're at, where we're starting, and we'll bring you back once we got things going here. So okay guys, we're back. What I've done here to find out how long of a piece of flat steel I need to make my first part of my rocker panel, I took a piece of beer case, folded it in, and pushed it up here. I'm actually giving myself quite a bit more at the top so that I've got some room to trim. And then I just followed it with the cardboard, and it worked out to about 6.5 inches on the cardboard. So next thing I did, I'll just take you over to the other side here through the obstacle course. And giving myself extra length, I made them 42 inches long. I need about 41, so this will give me a little extra for trimming and shaping the ends. Now, the first thing I'm going to do on this panel, because of the shape of the rocker panel, the actual curve, here's my pattern, is too sharp to go into my English wheel. So I'm going to end up using a piece of pipe to get my shape on this one. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break a 90-degree edge on the bottom of the panel that I cut. And I'm going to use, to mark 3/4 of an inch, if you've ever seen one of these, it's made by Midwest. Part number is MWT-A2. And it's a really cool tool. Here's the package. I got it off Amazon. I think it was about 12 bucks or something like that. Each one of these increments on here, you've got right from half, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, 1 inch. And what you do is, I want 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to run the edge of the panel here. This will scribe me a 3/4 of an inch mark without using a tape measure. I'll just put it on here. Don't know if that's showing up. If you look right there at the end of my thumb, I've got a perfect 3/4 inch line. It saves a bunch of measuring and inaccuracies with a Sharpie. So if you're interested, grab yourself one of those. I'll be back once I get her set up here. Okay guys, for those of you that haven't seen this before in the other videos, this is my $75 homemade brake. I've completely used and abused it, and it doesn't give me real nice sharp crisp 90s anymore because I think I've overstressed it bending 1/8 aluminum, but it works pretty good. I can always tune up the if I need it sharper on with a hammer and a dolly, or I have a big piece of I-beam that I use. So I've got it clamped in on the 3/4 inch line that I just scribed, and I'm just going to brake it to 90 degrees. And what I run into here sometimes, because I've stressed it so bad, I have to add a little bit of cardboard in the center here, and it'll just crisp up the center on it. So I'll get this bent, and then I'll show you the next stage I'm going to go to on building this rocker panel. Okay, so here's my piece that's broke at a 90. This is where we're at on the pattern now. So what I have to do is bend this piece up to follow this radius all the way around, and I'll get set up and show you how I'm going to go about doing that. Okay guys, so we're back again. What I did was I took the piece that I broke 90 degrees, and I was planning on just bending it around a piece of pipe, but because it's 42 inches long, that's not going to work very well. So what I did was I clamped in a piece of 5/4 decking board with the bullnose round over edge, and I got my curve started by clamping a piece of 2x2 to the top and just prying it down. From here, I'm going to take it to the English wheel. With that piece being bent down slightly, it'll give me clearance on the lower wheel and the upper wheel so that I can put the radius in that I need for the rocker panel. So once I get set up in the English wheel, I'll bring you back. Okay, so here's the piece. I've run it through the English wheel twice. Hopefully I can get the right angle. You can see it's starting to take the curve. This is where I started it on the piece of 5/4 deck board. So now I can finish rolling this out to match my pattern here. Gotta make sure my rubber sock stays on. Again, by using the rubber, you're only doing one dimension instead of stretching the steel. You're putting form in instead of shape. I'm using light to moderate pressure. This is a really narrow rocker, so I have to do this in a fairly small area here. I'm hoping the radius of this die is enough to give me the curve, because it's the smallest or largest radius I have. We'll just keep going back and forth here, see how it turns out. getting a fair bit of curve in it there now, as you can see, and we'll just carry on. Okay, so we're back. Here's where I am. I've got a pretty nice radius in it, but I can't go any further with it. Reason being, if you look, you'll see there's marks here. What's happened is I've got to the maximum radius of the die on my English wheel, and it's trying to go more, and this edge is starting to cut in, and it'll start to leave marks on the outside of your rocker panel, so you can't go that route. I've tried a bunch of different methods to get the rest of the radius in, and it's just not working. So what I've got is it's good to about right here, and then I have to get more radius in. So what I've done is gone back to an old school way that I used to do this, and I'll just show you the setup I've got on my workbench over here. Okay, so what I've got here is a piece of 2-inch tubing that I've welded a piece of angle to the end that I can clamp down. I've done that on both ends. What I'm going to do is position my piece that I want the bend in underneath this on that mark. My 90-degree on the back side is going to stop this from rolling on me. I'm going to clamp this to my bench. Put some gloves on. And I'm going to grab a 2x2. And I'm going to use this to bend this up. Okay, nothing like brute force and pushing like crazy. So I'm going to keep playing with this till I get the proper radius I need, and then I can put the final break in it. Okay guys, so by slowly manipulating this around the tube here, I have got my radius, I would say 99% perfect. I don't know if I can get that in the shot there. So now all I have to do is break my next 90-degree bend in it, which I believe goes inwards, and then there's another one that goes up on it. So I'm going to get those measured out and bent in here. At least the first one. The second one I might have to put in with hammer and dolly. So. Okay, so it's clamped in the brake on the line where I need to put my next bend. Just gonna give this a. I'm not going to be able to get 100% of the bend in because I'm hitting on the brake itself. Just going to put my cardboard in the center here to take up a little bit of the stuff that didn't go. Take it out. And we should have pretty close. Just let me get you set up here better. So this is going to sit like this. I have to figure out how much more bend to put in here, and I'll put that in on my anvil, and then we can figure out the next bend that goes up on this. So I'll bring you back again. Okay guys, so I've got a big chunk of scrap I-beam I picked up at a wrecking or a scrap yard. I'm going to use my slapper as opposed to a body hammer. I don't want to get a bunch of edge marks from the hammer in this curve, so I will beat away on this till I get it to the proper bend here, and then I'll bring you back. I won't bore you with all the hammering and all the noise. Okay, so I've got this down at the angle I want now. What I did to ensure that I've got it the same from one end to the other, I took another chunk of that 5/4 deck board, I slid it in behind, I held it, and then I just planished this down so it was flat on top, just kept sliding it along. So I now have a really nice straight, solid rocker panel. It sits like this. This piece goes in, and then it's got to get broke straight up, and then it'll get broke that way again. I'm not sure how much I can put into this. It's going to get more and more complicated all the time here, so it's got to come up and then go 90 degrees in. So I'll keep playing with it here, figuring out how I can do all of that, and then I'll bring you guys back and show you what I get figured out. Okay guys, so after about an hour's beating and pounding, I have an almost exact replica of the rocker panel. So the way that I was able to put this last break in it, this one right here, this panel was sitting like this, perfectly flat in the last section of the video. I clamped it right here on the edge. I used a piece of 1/8 flat bar underneath, pushed it in as far as I could, and then I have a, where did I put it? Bear with me here. Somewhere in this mess. Oh well, not important. I have a cold chisel that's got a blunt round end on it, and I just started this crisp edge with that chisel all the way along, making sure that this piece kept a little bit of a gap underneath there. Once I had it started, then I could slowly work the whole bend up. So that takes care of that part now. The other part I have to do is it's going to need another 90-degree bend right here to take it flat in to mate up with the running board. So I'm hoping I can do that on my break. That's yet to be seen. So anyhow, I'm going to leave that one right there. I'm going to try and make the other piece of the running board to match this one, and then I can start dissecting all the rusty parts out of here to possibly get this fit. I might have to make the inners and put them in first, but I'm not quite sure. So anyhow guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the like buttons there. Really appreciate you.